Hello, coin enthusiasts and history buffs, welcome back to my channel, where we delve deep into the fascinating world of numismatics. Today, we're uncovering the story behind a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance but carries with it a rich history and potentially significant value. That's right, we're talking about the 1994 D1 Liberty Cent. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone just getting started, this video will take you through everything you need to know about this intriguing piece of American currency. From its origins to its present-day worth, we'll explore every facet of the 1994 D Liberty Cent. So, without further ado, let's dive in to truly appreciate the 1994 D Liberty Cent. We must first take a journey back in time to understand the broader historical context of this coin. The D Mint mark on the coin indicates that it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the primary mints in the United States. The 1990s were a time of transition and modernization for the U.S. Mint. As the nation entered the final decade of the 20th century, the Mint continued its mission to produce coins that not only served as a medium of exchange but also as symbols of national pride and heritage. The Lincoln Cent, featuring the bust of Abraham Lincoln, has been in continuous production since 1909. The reverse design of the Lincoln Memorial, which graced the back of the coin from 1959 until 2008, was the work of Frank Gasparo. This design was meant to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and it became one of the most iconic images in American coinage. The 1994 D Liberty Cent is part of this long-standing series. Despite being part of a series with a history spanning nearly a century, the 1994 D Cent has its unique place in the numismatic world. The coin was struck during a period when the Mint was experimenting with different minting techniques and improving the quality of its coinage, leading to some interesting varieties and errors, which we'll discuss later. Let's take a closer look at the design and specifications of the 1994 D Liberty Cent. The obverse of the coin features the enduring portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design has become one of the most recognizable in the world and has been used on the Lincoln Cent for over a century. On the reverse, we find the Lincoln Memorial, a design that reminds us of the nation's commitment to honor its great leaders. The reverse design also includes the inscriptions: United States of America e pluribus unum and 1 cent. The 1994 D Liberty Cent is composed of 97.5% zinc with a thin 2.5% copper plating. The coin has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters and a weight of 2.5 grams. These specifications were introduced in 1982 when the U.S. Mint transitioned from the original bronze composition to the copper-plated zinc format to reduce production costs. The D Mint mark is located just below the date on the obverse side of the coin, indicating its origin at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint, established in 1906, has been a crucial facility in the production of U.S. coins, and coins with the D Mint mark are known for their consistency and quality. The 1994 D Liberty Cent was minted in large quantities, with millions of coins produced at the Denver Mint. However, the minting process of the 1990s was not without its challenges. During this period, the U.S. Mint was implementing new technologies and techniques to improve the efficiency and quality of coin production. This sometimes led to variations and errors, which can significantly affect a coin's value. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1994 D Liberty Cent is the possibility of finding coins with minting errors. These errors can range from double dies, where the design appears to be duplicated, to off-center strikes, where the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process. Such errors can make a coin much more valuable to collectors. Another variation to look out for is the quality of the strike. Coins with a sharp, clear strike and minimal wear are considered to be in mint state condition and are highly sought after by collectors. The condition of the coin is often graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect, flawless coin. Now, let's get to the part that most of you have been waiting for: the value of the 1994 D Liberty Cent. While the coin's face value is only 1 cent, its actual worth can vary significantly depending on its condition, rarity, and any unique characteristics it may possess. In circulated condition, most 1994 D Liberty Cents are worth just a little over their face value. However, coins in uncirculated or near-perfect condition can be worth significantly more. A 1994 D Cent in mint state MS condition can be valued anywhere from 10 cents to $5 or more, depending on the specific grade. But the real value comes from rare errors or varieties. For example, if you happen to find a 1994 D Cent with a double die error or an off-center strike, you could be looking at a coin worth anywhere from $50 to several $100s, depending on the severity and rarity of the error. It's also important to note that the value of coins can increase over time, especially if they become rarer or more sought after by collectors. Keeping a 1994 D Liberty cent in pristine condition and storing it properly could potentially increase its value in the future. For those interested in the investment potential of the 1994 D Liberty cent, it's essential to consider the factors that contribute to its big worth of money. Rarity is one of the most significant factors in determining a coin's value. While millions of 1994 D Liberty cents were minted, finding one in perfect condition or with a rare error can be challenging. Coins that are part of a complete collection of Lincoln cents, especially those in high-grade condition, can command substantial prices at auctions. Collectors who aim to complete a set of Lincoln cents, including the 1994 D, are often willing to pay a premium for coins that meet their standards. In addition to rarity, historical significance plays a role in a coin's value. The 1994 D Liberty cent is a piece of American history, minted during a time of economic growth and technological advancement in the United States. Coins from this era may become more valuable as they age, especially as they become scarcer in circulation. For those fortunate enough to find a 1994 D Liberty cent in exceptional condition or with a rare error, the coin's worth can be far more than just a few cents. Some collectors have been able to sell such coins for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on the specific circumstances. If you're looking to add a 1994 D Liberty cent to your collection or invest in one, here are some tips to keep in mind. Always aim to find coins in the best possible condition. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. Pay close attention to any potential minting errors or variations. These can significantly increase the value of the coin. Properly store your coins to prevent damage or wear. Use coin holders or albums to protect them from the elements. Keep up with the latest trends in the numismatic market. Coin values can fluctuate, and staying informed will help you make better decisions. If you believe you have a valuable 1994 D Liberty cent, consider getting it professionally graded and appraised. This can help you determine its true worth. The 1994 D Liberty cent may be a small coin, but it carries with it a wealth of history, value, and potential. Whether you're a collector or an investor, this coin is a fascinating piece of American heritage that could hold significant worth. From its historical context to its potential errors and variations, the 1994 D Liberty cent is a coin that deserves attention. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of the 1994 D Liberty cent. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about other coins with rich histories and potential value, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Until next time, happy collecting! Welcome back to MY Channel Coin Collectors and History Enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of U.S. coins as we explore the 1996 D1 Liberty cent. This coin is more than just a penny, it's a piece of history. And if you're lucky enough to have one in your collection, you might be holding on to something far more valuable than you think. In this video, we're going to cover the full history of the 1996 D1 Liberty cent, what makes it stand out, and of course, its value and big worth of money. So, let's get started. Let's begin with the backstory of the 1 Liberty cent. The 1 Liberty cent, also known as the Lincoln cent, has been in production since 1909. It was created to honor Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, and it marked the first time a U.S. coin featured a president's portrait. The cent was introduced on the centennial of Lincoln's birth, and it was a revolutionary design in the history of American coinage. The 1996 D1 Liberty cent falls into the broader Lincoln cent category, featuring the iconic profile of Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. Brenner's design has been in use, with only slight modifications, for over a century, making the Lincoln cent one of the most enduring and recognizable coins in the world. The reverse of the 1996 D coin, like many of its predecessors, features the Lincoln Memorial, a design that was introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The Lincoln Memorial design would continue until 2008, when the Lincoln Bicentennial Series was introduced. What makes the 1996 D1 Liberty cent special is its mint mark. The D signifies that the coin was produced at the Denver Mint, one of the most important mints in the United States. The Denver Mint has been in operation since 1906, producing billions of coins every year. While most coins struck at Denver are common, certain issues and mint years become valuable due to minting errors, rarity, or collector demand. By 1982, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of the Lincoln cent. Prior to that year, cents were made primarily of copper. However, due to rising copper prices, the Mint decided to shift to a cheaper copper-plated zinc composition, which is what the 1996 cent is made of. It weighs about 2.5 grams, with a thin copper layer coating a zinc core. While this composition made the coins cheaper to produce, it also opened up the possibility of minting errors, which can greatly affect a coin's value. Now that we understand the history and the design of this coin, let's explore what makes the 1996 Liberty cent particularly important. The 1996 Liberty cent had a mintage of approximately 6.5 billion coins. While this seems like a large number, not all of these coins have survived in pristine condition. Over the years, millions of these coins have been lost, damaged, or heavily circulated, which reduces their value. However, those that remain in mint state, particularly those with errors or rare variations, are highly sought after by collectors. The value of any coin is largely dependent on its condition, and the 1996 Liberty cent is no exception. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70 by organizations like the Professional Coin Grading Service or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. A grade of 70 indicates a perfect coin with no flaws. Coins with grades of MS65 and higher are particularly valuable. If you have a 1996 Lincoln cent in mint state condition, it could be worth significantly more than face value. One of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting is discovering error coins. Minting errors occur when there are mistakes during the production process, resulting in coins with unique features. In the case of the 1996 Liberty cent, collectors have identified several notable errors and varieties. One of the most coveted errors is the double die error, where the design is struck twice in slightly different positions. This can result in doubling of letters or numbers, making the coin highly valuable. Another error that can affect the value of the 1996 cent is an off-center strike, where the coin's design is not properly aligned. These coins are often sought after by collectors for their rarity. A clipped planchet error occurs when part of the metal sheet used to make the coin is improperly cut, resulting in a coin that has a curved or clipped edge. This type of error adds significant value to a coin. Some 1996 cents were struck on improperly annealed planchets, resulting in coins with a darker or streaked appearance. These error coins are less common, making them valuable to collectors. While the 1996 Liberty cent has a face value of just 1 cent, its true worth can vary greatly depending on its condition and whether it features any errors or rare variations. In circulated condition, the coin may still be worth only a penny. However, uncirculated and error coins can fetch much higher prices at auction or through private sales. As of today, a standard 1996 Liberty cent in mint condition graded MS65 or higher can sell for $1 to $3. While this might not sound like a fortune, it's significantly higher than its face value. However, coins with rare errors or in exceptional condition can be worth much more. For example, a 1996 cent with a double die error could sell for $50 to $100, depending on the prominence of the doubling. Off-center strikes and clipped planchet errors have been known to fetch prices in the range of $10 to $50. If you happen to have a 1996 Liberty cent graded at MS67 or higher, you could be looking at a value of $50 or more. The value of these coins is also influenced by the overall demand in the market. Collectors are always on the lookout for rare and unique pieces, so if the demand for error coins spikes, the value of your 1996 cent could rise even further. As with all collectible coins, the value of the 1996 D1 Liberty cent is likely to increase over time, especially as the number of high-quality specimens diminishes. Coins that are well preserved, stored properly, and free from wear or damage will always command higher prices in the future market. Additionally, if a significant error or variety is discovered in this particular issue, the value could skyrocket overnight. So there you have it. The 1996 D1 Liberty cent is more than just a regular penny. With its rich history, collectible errors, and potential value, it's a coin worth taking a closer look at. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, always keep an eye out for these valuable coins. Who knows that 1 cent could turn out to be worth much more. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with fellow coin enthusiasts. Leave a comment below if you have a 1996 D1 Liberty cent, or if you've found any interesting era coins in your collection. Thanks for watching, and happy collecting! 65 Lincoln penny, a seemingly everyday coin that has become the subject of legends in the world of rare coin collecting. You won't believe this, but there are claims that some 1965 Lincoln pennies are worth an astonishing $180 million. That's right, a single penny potentially worth hundreds of millions. So, how did this small coin become so valuable, and what makes it special? We're about to break it all down, from its history, design, and minting errors to the secrets behind its incredible worth today. Before we talk about the 1965 penny itself, let's take a step back in time to understand the context in which it was minted. The year 1965 was a transformative period for the United States. The nation was in the midst of significant social changes, from the height of the civil rights movement to the escalation of the Vietnam War. It was also the dawn of the space race, with NASA striving to land a man on the moon. At the same time, changes were happening in the world of American coinage. The U.S. Mint faced a coin shortage due to rising demand and the hoarding of silver coins. The government was struggling to meet the needs of the economy, so they made some critical decisions in 1965 to adapt. These decisions would directly impact the Lincoln penny, especially regarding the materials used and the way the coins were minted. The Lincoln penny has been a staple of American currency since its introduction in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The 1965 Lincoln penny continued the classic design created by Victor David Brenner. Here's a breakdown of its most prominent features. The obverse side of the coin features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Above Lincoln's head is the phrase "In God We Trust," while to his right, you'll find the word Liberty and the date 1965 to the left. Interestingly, there is no mint mark on the 1965 penny, regardless of where it was produced. This is because, in 1965, the U.S. Mint removed mint marks from all coins as part of an effort to discourage coin hoarding during the silver coin crisis. The reverse side of the penny still featured the wheat reverse design up until 1959. However, in 1959, this design was replaced with the image of the Lincoln Memorial as a tribute to Lincoln's legacy. On the reverse, you'll see the iconic Lincoln Memorial, along with the phrases "United States of America et pluribus unum" and 1 cent. The 1965 penny was made primarily from 95% copper and 5% zinc, continuing a long-standing tradition of copper coinage that was about to change in the following decades. So what makes the 1965 Lincoln penny stand out from other pennies? And how does it become part of the legendary stories of multi-million-dollar coins? Let's break it down. 1. The absence of mint marks. As I mentioned earlier, the 1965 penny doesn't feature any mint marks due to a government decision to stop placing mint marks on coins during this time. This wasn't specific to just pennies but applied to all U.S. coins from 1965 to 1967. The goal was to reduce the hoarding of coins, particularly silver, as the public had begun collecting them in bulk, expecting the value of silver to rise. As a result, these 3 years of coinage stand out in American numismatics. Point 2. Rarity in certain conditions. The vast majority of 1965 Lincoln pennies are common, given that over 1.5 billion were minted. However, those pennies that remain in pristine, uncirculated condition or have rare minting errors are the ones that command astronomical values in the market. Coins graded MS-67 or higher by professional grading services, like the Professional Coin Grading Service (PCGS), are especially rare. These coins are flawless or nearly flawless, with only a few known examples surviving. Point 3. Minting errors. Some of the most valuable 1965 Lincoln pennies feature minting errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks. These errors occurred during the minting process and resulted in coins with unique characteristics that collectors eagerly seek. The rarer and more pronounced the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. Now, let's take a look at some real-world examples of 1965 Lincoln pennies that have fetched big money at auction. 1. The 1965 Lincoln penny MS-67 red. One of the highest-graded 1965 Lincoln pennies was an MS-67 red, which sold at auction for over $8,000. This coin had exceptional color and luster, with no visible wear or marks. Coins with this level of preservation are incredibly rare, making them highly sought after by collectors. Point 2. Rare minting errors. A 1965 Lincoln penny with a dramatic off-center strike recently sold for over $15,000. The off-center error created a coin with a unique and striking appearance, attracting the attention of error coin collectors. Another penny with a double die obverse where Lincoln's portrait was struck twice, creating a shadowed effect, sold for nearly $10,030. Record-breaking sales. While it's rare to see a 1965 penny reach the lofty price of $180 million, some experts speculate that if an extraordinarily rare and flawless example were discovered, or if one were found with a previously unknown minting error, it could attract bids in the multimillions. Now you're probably wondering, how can a 1965 Lincoln penny be worth an unbelievable $180 million? Let's explore the possibilities. In the world of rare coins, certain factors can drive the price of a coin into astronomical ranges. Here are a few scenarios where this could happen. 1. Discovery of a new error. Imagine if a previously unknown minting error were discovered on a 1965 penny, something so rare and unique that it would create a frenzy in the numismatic world. This could dramatically increase demand for the coin and push its price sky high. Point 2. Celebrity ownership. If a famous collector or historical figure were known to own a rare 1965 penny, this association could inflate the coin's value. Imagine if a penny owned by someone like Elon Musk or another high-profile figure went to auction, the bidding could easily reach astronomical levels. Point 3. Historical importance. Certain coins gain value because of their historical significance. If a 1965 penny were discovered to have played a role in an important event, or if it became associated with a major moment in history, collectors might be willing to pay immense sums to own a piece of that history. Dear fellows, coin enthusiasts, collectors, and treasure hunters, are you ready for another deep dive into the world of rare coins? Today, we've got something truly special, a coin that most of us overlook but could actually be worth a staggering $95 million. That's right, we're talking about the 1982 Lincoln penny from the United States of America, and you won't believe the fascinating story behind this small but mighty piece of U.S. history. So grab your magnifying glasses and your piggy banks, because by the end of this video you'll want to start checking every penny you come across. Let's jump into the thrilling world of the 1982 Lincoln cent. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of what makes the 1982 Lincoln penny so valuable, we need to set the stage with a little bit of historical context. The year was 1982 and the United States was coming out of a period of economic recession. The country was adjusting to the leadership of President Ronald Reagan, who had been inaugurated the previous year. Inflation was high, the cost of living was rising, and everything, including raw materials, was becoming more expensive. Even copper, a crucial material for coin production, wasn't immune to these price hikes. At the same time, the Lincoln penny had already been a staple of American currency for over 7 decades, since its introduction in 1909. The design of the penny featured the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse front side, designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse side showed the Lincoln Memorial designed by Frank Gasparo, a design that had been used since 1959. But by 1982, the rising cost of copper led to a pivotal change at the U.S. Mint. What happened next would set the stage for a series of coins that would turn out to be one of the most valuable and collectible pennies in recent history. What makes 1982 such a special year for Lincoln pennies is that it marked a major transition in the way the coins were produced. Prior to 1982, pennies were made from a 95% copper and 5% zinc alloy, giving them a heavier weight and distinct feel. But with the cost of copper soaring, the U.S. Mint made the decision to reduce the copper content in pennies, switching to a 97.5% zinc core with only a thin 2.5% copper coating. Here's the interesting part. Because 1982 was the year of this transition, both copper and zinc pennies were minted that year. And even more intriguingly, these coins were struck with two different sizes of lettering, large date and small date varieties. So in total there are 7 distinct varieties of 1982 Lincoln pennies. 1. 1982 copper large date 2. 1982 copper small date 3. 1982 zinc large date 4. 1982 zinc small date 5. 1982 D copper large date 6. 1982 D zinc large date 7. 1982 D zinc small date. Each of these varieties has its own unique market value, and some are rarer than others. We'll dive into these differences shortly, but what's important to know is that this combination of 2 metals, 2 minting locations, Philadelphia and Denver, and 2 date sizes has made 1982 pennies a collector's dream. Now that we know the basics of the 1982 penny, let's get into the real reason why this little copper zinc coin could be worth a jaw-dropping $95 million. You might be asking yourself, why on earth would a 1982 penny be so valuable? Well, it all comes down to rarity, demand, and errors. Here's what makes the 1982 penny so special. 1. Minting errors. The transition from copper to zinc led to several minting mistakes during production. These errors are highly sought after by collectors and can significantly increase the value of a penny. Some of the most common errors for 1982 pennies include double die errors, where part of the design is doubled, typically in the date or lettering. Off-center strikes, where the coin design is not properly centered. Clipped planchets, where part of the penny is missing due to a minting error. 2. Copper versus zinc. Many collectors prefer the copper versions of the 1982 penny because they were minted in smaller quantities. Copper pennies are also heavier, which makes them easy to distinguish from their zinc counterparts. But even within the copper pennies, some are rarer than others. For example, the 1982 D small date copper penny is considered one of the rarest of the 1982 varieties, with only a few confirmed to exist. 3. Collector demand. Coin collectors and numismatists, people who study coins, are always on the lookout for rare varieties, and 1982 pennies have become a hot commodity because of their unique history and transitional nature. High-grade uncirculated pennies from 1982 can fetch incredible prices at auction, and if you happen to have one of the rare era coins, the sky's the limit when it comes to value. The combination of these factors has created a perfect storm for the 1982 Lincoln penny, pushing its value up to $95 million for some of the rarest examples. That's right, if you've got one of these era coins in mint condition, you could be sitting on a fortune. So how do you know if you've got one of the valuable 1982 pennies? The first thing you'll need to do is determine whether your penny is made of copper or zinc. Luckily, this is pretty easy to figure out at home. 1. Weigh your penny. A copper penny from 1982 will weigh about 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny will weigh 2.5 grams. You can use a digital scale to measure the weight of your penny. If it's closer to 3.11 grams, congratulations, you've got a copper penny. 2. Check the date and mint mark. Once you've figured out the composition, take a close look at the date. You'll need to determine whether it's a large date or small date variety. This can be tricky, but with a magnifying glass or loupe you should be able to tell the difference. Small date varieties have a slightly more compact and slender number font, while large dates are broader and more spaced out. 3. Check for mint errors. Next, inspect your penny for any signs of minting errors like doubling off center strikes or clipped planchets. Errors can dramatically increase the value of your penny, so be thorough in your examination. Once you've identified the type of penny you have, it's time to get it professionally graded by a service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. A certified grade will give you an official value for your penny and help you decide whether to sell it at auction or hold onto it as a prized piece of your collection. Dear fellow coin collectors, treasure hunters, and history lovers. Today, we're going to dive deep into one of the most fascinating stories in U.S. coin history, the 1983 Lincoln penny. Could you imagine that a coin sitting in your pocket right now could be worth an unbelievable $151 million? Yes, it's true. In this video, we're going to take an in-depth look at the history of the 1983 Lincoln penny, its incredible rise in value, and what factors make this ordinary-looking coin a potential fortune. So, get ready for a journey through time, minting errors, rare finds, and collector frenzy. To truly understand why the 1983 Lincoln penny holds such value, we need to take a step back and look at the historical and economic context of the time. The year 1983 was a period of transition for the United States. Ronald Reagan was president, and the country was still navigating the aftermath of a deep recession. Technological innovation was just starting to reshape the world, with personal computers becoming more mainstream and the internet still in its infancy. At the US Mint, changes were also underway. The penny had recently undergone a significant transformation. In 1982, the US Mint had made the switch from producing pennies primarily out of 95% copper to a more affordable zinc core with a thin copper coating. The change was made due to the rising cost of copper, which had become more expensive than the face value of the penny itself. By 1983, the mint was well into its new production method and billions of pennies were produced using the copper-plated zinc format. But little did anyone know that some of these 1983 pennies would become some of the most sought-after coins in the world due to a rare and unexpected twist of fate. Now let's take a closer look at the design of the 1983 Lincoln penny. At first glance, this penny might look just like any other Lincoln cent you've seen over the years, but there's much more than meets the eye. With all Lincoln pennies, the obverse features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, facing to the right. Above Lincoln's head is the inscription "In God We Trust," a phrase that has been on the penny since 1909. To Lincoln's right, the word Liberty is boldly engraved and the year 1983 appears to the left. Below the date, some pennies have a small D mint mark indicating they were minted in Denver, while those without a mark were minted in Philadelphia. The reverse side of the 1983 penny features the image of the Lincoln Memorial, which had been used on the back of the penny since 1959. Above the Lincoln Memorial, you'll see the inscription "United States of America," and below it, the words 1 cent. Surrounding the Lincoln Memorial is the phrase "E pluribus unum," which translates to "out of many one," symbolizing the unity of the nation. What makes the 1983 Lincoln penny so special isn't necessarily its design, but rather its composition and the rare minting errors that occurred during this time. These factors are what could turn a common penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Now, here's where things get really interesting. The 1983 Lincoln penny was supposed to be made of a zinc core with a thin copper coating as mandated by the US Mint after the change in 1982. But somehow a small number of 1983 pennies were accidentally struck on the older copper planchets used prior to the transition. This minting error has made these particular 1983 copper pennies incredibly valuable. In fact, one of these rare 1983 copper pennies sold at auction for over $23,000. And the truth is, there could still be more of these rare error pennies out there waiting to be discovered. If you find one, it could be worth a fortune. But that's not all. There are other minting errors from 1983 that have added to the value of these coins. Some pennies were struck with double dies where the image or text appears to be doubled due to a misalignment in the minting process. These errors are highly collectible, and depending on the condition of the coin, they could be worth thousands or even millions. Another crucial factor that determines the value of your 1983 penny is its condition. Coin collectors use a grading system to assess the quality and preservation of coins, and the higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. The grading system ranges from per P1, which is a heavily worn and barely recognizable coin, to mint state MS70, which is a flawless coin with no imperfections. Most coins that have been in circulation will have wear and tear, reducing their value. But if you're lucky enough to have a 1983 penny in near perfect condition, graded as MS65 or higher, you could be sitting on a gold mine. Some 1983 pennies in mint state condition have sold for upwards of $5,000 to $10,000. And remember, if you happen to own one of the rare 1983 copper pennies in this condition, its value could easily skyrocket. So, could a 1983 Lincoln penny actually be worth $151 million? While this might seem far-fetched, let's break down how it could theoretically happen. Point 1. A rare minting error discovery. If a new and previously undiscovered minting error on a 1983 penny was found, it could send shockwaves through the numismatic community. Rare errors are highly prized, and if this penny had a one-of-a-kind error that had never been seen before, the value could skyrocket to unbelievable heights. Point 2. Perfect condition with provenance. Coins with historical or famous owners can see a massive boost in value due to their provenance. Imagine if a 1983 penny in mint state MS70 condition was discovered with ties to a significant historical figure, or if it was kept in pristine condition for decades. Bidders from around the world could engage in a bidding war, pushing the price into the millions. Point 3. Market trends and collector demand. The value of coins, like any other collectible, is heavily influenced by market trends and collector demand. If interest in 1983 pennies spikes due to a new discovery, or increasing demand for US coins, prices could rise dramatically. In extreme cases, rare coins can see values rise exponentially, especially when competing bidders drive up prices in heated auctions. Now, I'm sure you're all wondering, how do you know if your 1983 Lincoln penny is one of these rare, valuable coins? Here's what you need. Dear coin collectors and history buffs, today, we dive deep into the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins. We're taking a closer look at the 1984 Lincoln penny, a coin that you probably have lying around, but did you know that under the right conditions it could be worth a jaw-dropping $75 million? That's right. This everyday penny, minted in Denver in 1984, has become a legendary piece of U.S. coin history, attracting attention from collectors and investors alike. In today's video, we're going to break down the history, the unique features, and what makes this seemingly simple penny potentially so valuable. And of course, we'll also talk about how you can check if you have a rare one hiding in your collection. Let's get started. The Lincoln penny has a rich history that dates back over a century. Introduced in 1909, it was the first U.S. coin to feature the portrait of a president, honoring the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Since then, the Lincoln cent has remained one of the most iconic and widely circulated coins in the United States. Over the years, the design has changed slightly, but the obverse, featuring Lincoln's profile, has remained the same. In 1959, the reverse of the penny was updated to showcase the Lincoln Memorial, replacing the original wheat ears design. This reverse design stayed in place until 2008, when it was replaced once again, making the Lincoln Memorial pennies like the 1984 penny a collector's favorite. The 1984 Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, which is represented by the D mint mark under the date. While billions of pennies were minted that year, certain conditions, errors, and collector demand have pushed some examples of this penny into the realm of extreme value. But how did this happen? What makes the 1984 penny so special? Let's dive deeper into its production. The Denver Mint has long been one of the primary facilities for producing U.S. coinage, and in 1984 it struck over 8 billion Lincoln pennies. These pennies, like all those minted after 1982, were composed of a zinc core with a copper coating. This marked a significant shift from the pre-1982 pennies, which were made primarily of copper. The change was made to reduce costs as copper prices increased, but it also introduced certain challenges to the minting process. The 1984 Lincoln penny follows the standard design with Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But what sets certain 1984 pennies apart are errors that occurred during the minting process. Coins struck with errors or in pristine uncirculated condition have become incredibly valuable over time, with some examples reaching unbelievable prices at auction. Let's talk more about these errors and conditions and why collectors are willing to pay big money for these seemingly everyday pennies. So what is it about the 1984 Lincoln penny that could make it worth $75 million? It all comes down to a few critical factors. 1. Error coins. One of the most famous and sought-after varieties of the 1984 Lincoln penny is the doubled die error. A doubled die occurs when the coin's design is struck twice with a slight shift in position, causing the images or text on the coin to appear doubled. The 1984 doubled die obverse specifically features doubling in Lincoln's ear, giving it the nickname the doubled ear penny. This error is rare and highly prized by collectors. In pristine condition, a 1984 doubled ear penny can be worth thousands of dollars, and the most extreme cases of doubling can fetch even higher prices. Finding such an error in mint condition would be like hitting the jackpot. 2. High-grade coins. While error coins are valuable, another critical factor that affects the price of a penny is its grade. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect uncirculated coin. Pennies that are graded MS-67 or MS-68 mint state are exceedingly rare, especially when considering how many pennies were in circulation and subjected to wear and tear. A 1984 Lincoln penny in MS-68 condition recently sold for several $1,000s. As the supply of these high-grade coins dwindles, their value continues to rise. And if a penny with both a high grade and a significant error like the double die error were to surface, it could be worth an astronomical sum, potentially millions of dollars. 3. Rarity and demand. Lastly, rarity plays a significant role in the value of the 1984 penny. While billions of these pennies were minted, only a small fraction of them have survived in mint condition or with valuable errors. The demand from collectors is high, and as more collectors enter the market, prices are driven up. It's this combination of rarity, high-grade condition, and collector demand that leads some 1984 pennies to be worth millions. In fact, experts estimate that under the right conditions, one of these pennies could be valued as high as $75 million in the future. Now let's talk about how you can identify whether your 1984 Lincoln penny could be worth big money. Here are a few tips to help you figure out if you've struck gold in your collection. 1. Check the mint mark. The first thing to verify is the mint mark. Look under the date for the D mint mark, which indicates that your penny was struck at the Denver Mint. This is crucial because we're specifically talking about the 1984 penny minted in Denver. Point 2. Examine for errors. The next step is to carefully inspect your penny for any errors, particularly the famous doubled ear. You can do this with a magnifying glass or a coin loop. Look closely at Lincoln's ear and see if you can spot any doubling. If you find any noticeable doubling, you might be holding a valuable error coin. 3. Evaluate the condition. Condition is key when it comes to the value of coins. Is your penny uncirculated with no visible wear or damage? If so, it may be in mint state condition. Coins graded MS67 or higher are extremely valuable, especially if they're free of scratches, dents, or other imperfections. Point 4. Get your coin graded. Finally, if you think your 1984 D penny is in excellent condition or has a valuable error, consider getting it professionally graded. Reputable companies like PCGS Professional Coin Grading Service or NGC Numismatic Guarantee Corporation can provide an official grade for your coin. Having your coin professionally graded will not only verify its authenticity but also significantly increase its value at auction. The 1984 D Lincoln penny has seen some incredible sales over the years. Here are a few notable auction highlights. A 1984 D penny in MS68 RD red condition recently sold for nearly. Thanks for tuning in to GZ Coins World. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update on our latest coin explorations. Have any questions or thoughts on the 2001 cent Liberty coin? Drop them in the comments below. My dear coin collectors, treasure hunters, and curious minds. Today we dive deep into the history and value of some of the most underrated coins ever made. We're turning the spotlight on the 1996 Lincoln penny, a coin that you probably think of as just a common, everyday cent. But what if I told you that this small piece of copper and zinc could be worth a jaw-dropping $89 million? Yes, you heard that right. In today's video, we're going to take you on a journey through the history, minting process, errors, and the incredible collector demand that has transformed the 1996 Lincoln penny into a hidden gem. Ready? Let's dive in. Before we get into what makes the 1996 Lincoln penny so valuable, let's take a look at the historical context of its time. The year was 1996 and America was experiencing a period of economic prosperity. Bill Clinton was serving his first term as President of the United States, and the dot-com boom was just beginning to take shape. The world was rapidly changing with advances in technology, the internet, and globalization. But amidst all this, the U.S. Mint was quietly continuing its long-standing tradition of minting the Lincoln penny, a coin that had been in circulation since 1909. By 1996, the Lincoln penny had been part of American history for nearly 90 years, with the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse back. Millions of pennies were produced annually, making the Lincoln penny one of the most widely recognized coins in the world. But what most people didn't know was that 1996 would be a year marked by some significant and rare minting errors, making certain pennies from this year incredibly valuable. Now let's break down the design and composition of the 1996 Lincoln penny. Although it may look like an ordinary penny, several factors make it stand out in terms of both its history and value. The obverse side of the coin features the classic Abraham Lincoln profile, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head, you'll find the national motto "In God We Trust" inscribed proudly, while the word liberty sits to his right. To Lincoln's left is the year of mintage, 1996, with a small D mint mark for pennies minted at the Denver Mint. If there is no mint mark, it means the coin was minted in Philadelphia. On the reverse side, we have the iconic image of the Lincoln Memorial designed by Frank Gasparo. This image has been part of the Lincoln penny's design since 1959, marking the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Above the memorial is the inscription "United States of America," and below it, the coin's denomination 1 cent. Surrounding the Lincoln Memorial is the phrase "E pluribus unum," meaning out of many one, a reminder of the unity of the American states. What sets the 1996 Lincoln penny apart is not its design, but rather the combination of its material composition and some extremely rare minting errors that occurred during production. But before we dive into the errors, let's talk about the materials that make up this little coin. Prior to 1982, U.S. pennies were primarily made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which gave them a heavier, more substantial feel. However, due to the rising cost of copper, the U.S. Mint made a significant change in the composition of pennies. Starting in 1982, pennies were made with a zinc core and coated with a thin layer of copper, making the coin much lighter. By the time we reached 1996, pennies were being produced with the following composition: 97.5% zinc core, 2.5% copper plating. This change in composition not only affected the weight and feel of the penny but also set the stage for certain minting errors that would go unnoticed by many for years. And for those lucky enough to discover these errors on their 1996 pennies, the payoff could be enormous. Now let's get to the part that everyone's been waiting for: rare minting errors. The 1996 Lincoln penny might seem ordinary at first glance, but it hides some incredible secrets. Certain minting errors have made specific pennies from this year incredibly valuable, fetching thousands if not millions at auction. Here are some of the most notable minting errors you need to watch out for. 1. Double die obverse DDO. A double die obverse occurs when the coin is struck twice on the obverse side, leading to a visible doubling of features such as Lincoln's face, the date, or the lettering. A 1996 Lincoln penny with this type of error in excellent condition could be worth tens of thousands of dollars depending on the degree of doubling. 2. Off-center strikes. Another error that can drastically increase a coin's value is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned in the press, leading to a portion of the design being cut off. Depending on how much of the design is missing, 1996 off-center pennies can be worth anywhere from $500 to $3,000 or more. 3. Clipped planchet. A clipped planchet error occurs when a portion of the coin's edge is missing, creating a clipped look. These errors are relatively rare and highly sought after by collectors, adding substantial value to the coin. 4. Die cracks and cuds. Sometimes during the minting process, cracks can form on the dies used to strike the coins, resulting in a die crack error. These are often visible as raised lines or blobs on the surface of the coin, known as cuds. While die cracks may seem minor, they can add significant value if prominent enough, especially on a 1996 penny in high-grade condition. These minting errors, combined with the fact that 1996 pennies were produced in large quantities, mean there's still a chance to find one of these hidden treasures. If you happen to discover one in your pocket change or coin collection, it could be worth a fortune. Alright, so you've checked your coins, and maybe you think you've found a 1996 Lincoln penny with one of these rare errors. Now what's the next step? The key to unlocking your penny's full value is to get it professionally graded by a service like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. Coin grading plays a crucial role in determining its market value. Grading services assess the condition of the coin based on a scale from per P1 to mint state MS70. The closer your. Dear coin collectors and history enthusiasts, today, we dive deep into the world of rare and valuable coins. We've got an exciting story that might just make you want to dig through your coin jars. We're talking about the 1996 D Lincoln penny from the United States, a coin that's not only a part of everyday American life but, in some cases, could be worth up to $91 million in today's market. Yes, you heard that right. A penny minted in Denver in 1996 has captured the attention of collectors worldwide, and depending on the condition, errors, and rarity, it might just be worth big money. Buckle up, because we're going to take you on a journey through the history, value, and potential worth of this extraordinary penny. Let's get started. The Lincoln penny has a long and storied history. First introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of President Abraham Lincoln's birth, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a president's portrait. Since then, the Lincoln cent has become a staple in American currency used by millions daily. Fast forward to 1996, and the United States Mint in Denver produced 6.5 billion Lincoln pennies with the D mint mark, indicating their origin at the Denver Mint. These pennies were composed of 97.5% zinc and coated with a thin layer of copper, a composition that had been standard since 1982. The coin features the iconic portrait of Lincoln on the obverse front side and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse back side, a design that had been in place since 1959. What makes the 1996 D penny so special? It might seem like an ordinary coin at first glance, but hidden within its history and production are several factors that have turned this penny into a potential treasure worth millions. From high-grade specimens to era coins and the sheer demand from collectors, the 1996 D penny holds untapped potential. Let's dive into the minting process and explore what makes the 1996 D penny stand out. The D mint mark signifies that the coin was minted in Denver, which has long been known for its precision and large-scale coin production. The Denver Mint struck billions of pennies in 1996, but as with any large-scale operation, errors and anomalies sometimes occurred during the minting process. These errors can drastically increase the value of a coin. For example, some 1990-60 Lincoln pennies were struck with off-center errors, double dies, or planchet issues. These are highly prized by collectors. We'll talk more about these types of errors later in the video. The composition of the coin is another important factor. By 1996, pennies were being made primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating, which was a departure from the older, heavier copper pennies minted before 1982. This change in material also opened the door to certain minting issues, such as improper adhesion of the copper layer, which can lead to valuable planchet errors. But the minting process alone doesn't make this coin valuable. The real money comes when you combine condition, rarity, and collector demand, which we'll explore in more detail shortly. So, what exactly makes the 1990-60 Lincoln penny worth up to $91 million? It comes down to a few key factors. 1. Condition. High-grade pennies. First and foremost is the condition of the coin. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, uncirculated coin. These high-grade pennies, especially those graded MS68 or higher, are incredibly rare. Pennies from 1996 were circulated heavily, meaning that finding one in perfect condition without anywhere scratches or blemishes is exceedingly difficult. The few that do exist can fetch enormous sums at auction. In fact, a 1990-60 Lincoln penny graded MS68 RD Red was sold for several $1,000s at auction. As the supply of pristine examples dwindles, the value of these high-grade coins continues to climb. 2. Error coins. Minting mistakes add value. While a high-grade penny is valuable, error coins from 1996 are where things get really interesting. Some 1990-60 pennies were struck with double die errors where the images or lettering on the coin appear double due to a minting mishap. Others were struck off-center, resulting in a misaligned image. These kinds of errors make a coin unique and highly sought after by collectors. 1 Particularly valuable error to look out for is the double die obverse, where Lincoln's portrait and the lettering on the front of the coin appear doubled. Coins with this error can fetch tens of thousands of dollars depending on the condition. 3. Rarity. The key to big value. While billions of pennies were minted in 1996, only a small fraction are in mint condition or have significant errors. The rarity of these high-grade or error coins is what drives their value into the millions. As we've seen with other rare pennies, such as the 1943 copper penny, when a coin is both rare and in demand, its price can skyrocket. 4. Collector demand. Finally, it all comes down to collector demand. The Lincoln penny is one of the most widely collected coins in U.S. history, with millions of people actively seeking rare and valuable specimens to complete their collections. The 1990-60 penny, with its combination of history, potential errors, and high-grade examples, has become a hot commodity in the numismatic world. As demand increases, so does the value. Now you're probably wondering how you can tell if your 1990-60 penny is worth a fortune. Here are a few steps you can take to determine if your penny could be worth big money. 1. Examine the mint mark. The first thing to check is the mint mark on your penny. A 1996 penny with AD under the date means it was minted in Denver, and that's the specific coin we're talking about today. 2. Check the condition. Look at the overall condition of your penny. Is it shiny and free of scratches, dents, or discoloration? If so, it could be in mint condition. Coins in MS67 or MS68 condition are the most valuable, so it's worth getting your coin professionally graded if it appears to be in excellent shape. 3. Look for errors. Check for any minting errors like doubling off center strikes or planchet flaws. These errors are rare and can increase the value of your penny exponentially. Use a magnifying glass or loupe to closely examine the lettering and design for any irregularities. 4. Get your coin graded. If you think you have a valuable penny, the best way to determine its true worth is to have it professionally graded by companies like PCGS Professional Coin Grading Service or NGC Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. These companies will assess the condition and authenticity of your coin, providing it with an official grade and certification. High-grade coins are the ones that fetch top dollar at auctions. My dear fellow coin enthusiasts, history buffs, and treasure hunters, what if I told you that a single 2004 Lincoln penny, the kind of coin you might find lying around in your pocket change, could be worth an astounding $155 million? Yes, you heard that right. It's hard to believe, but in this episode, we're going to break down exactly how the 2004 Lincoln penny rose to legendary status in the coin collecting world. From its fascinating history, unique design, and special minting variations to the reasons behind its jaw-dropping potential value, we'll dive deep into the world of this modern-day treasure. So, grab your magnifying glass and your change jar, Because this is a video you don't want to miss. Let's start by stepping back in time to the year 2004, a year of change and innovation, not just in the United States, but around the world. In 2004, the US was in the midst of a highly contentious presidential election with George W. Bush being re-elected. The world had its eyes on the Olympic Games in Athens, and we were seeing major technological advancements, with more people embracing the internet and mobile technology. But while history was being made on the world stage, over at the U.S. Mint, another kind of history was unfolding. Billions of pennies were being minted across the country, but the pennies from this year would soon take on a special significance, thanks to rare variations, minting errors, and collectors' demand. In particular, the 2004 Lincoln penny, though minted in huge numbers, has become a sought-after piece for collectors who know its hidden potential. So, how did an ordinary coin become worth so much? The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909, has remained one of the most iconic coins in American history. The 2004 Lincoln penny continues this tradition with a familiar design that millions of Americans recognize instantly. The obverse side features the famous profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, facing to the right. Above Lincoln's head is the timeless phrase, "In God we trust," while to his right, you'll see the word liberty and the date 2004 to the left. If your penny has a small D mint mark below the date, it was minted in Denver, while those without the D come from the Philadelphia Mint. The reverse side of the 2004 penny continues to feature the Lincoln Memorial, a design first introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Above the memorial, you'll find the words United States of America, and below the denomination 1 cent. Surrounding the memorial is the Latin phrase E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, symbolizing the unity of the nation. Though this design may seem like any other Lincoln penny, subtle differences and key factors make this particular year 2004 a treasure for collectors. Let's explore those hidden factors that could turn your penny into a multi-million-dollar windfall. Now, let's dive into the juicy details. Why is the 2004 Lincoln penny potentially worth so much? There are several factors that contribute to the incredible value of this small coin, and we're about to break them all down. 1. Minting errors and variations. The first key to unlocking the value of the 2004 penny lies in its minting errors. Some of these pennies were struck with unique and rare errors that make them highly valuable. For example, you might come across a doubled die error where the image of Lincoln or the text on the coin appears to be doubled, creating a shadow effect. These types of errors are incredibly rare and can push the value of the coin into the thousands, even millions. 2. Condition and grading. Like all valuable coins, the condition of your 2004 Lincoln penny is crucial. Coins that have been perfectly preserved and are graded as MS65 or higher by professional grading services, like PCGS Professional Coin Grading Service, are much more valuable than those with wear and tear. A 2004 penny graded MS69 or MS70 nearly perfect condition can fetch prices of $10,000 or more at auction. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Point 3. Copper versus zinc composition. The 2004 penny is made primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating. However, there have been rumors of certain experimental pennies being struck with different compositions, such as an all-copper planchet, which could drastically increase the value of those particular coins. Point 4. Scarcity in certain conditions. The rarity of highly graded 2004 pennies is another factor contributing to the astronomical prices. Even though billions were minted, finding one in perfect condition, free from nicks, scratches, or discoloration, is far more difficult than it sounds. Combine this rarity with demand from serious collectors, and you start to understand why these coins can skyrocket in value. While the average 2004 penny may not be worth millions, there are stories circulating in the numismatic world that have caught the attention of coin collectors and treasure hunters alike. Some 2004 Lincoln pennies with rare minting errors or in nearly flawless condition have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. But could a 2004 penny truly reach $155 million in value? While no sale has reached that staggering amount just yet, experts speculate that if a previously unknown minting error or a perfectly preserved example were to surface, the bidding wars could be unlike anything we've seen before. For example, a rare 2004 Lincoln penny with a striking error recently sold for over $15,000 at auction, and a flawless graded MS70 penny fetched nearly $12,000. But collectors are always on the lookout for that one coin that will break records, and there are whispers in the community of coins rumored to be worth much more. So, how could a seemingly ordinary 2004 penny reach an astounding value of $155 million? While this might sound far-fetched, it's not entirely impossible in the world of coin collecting. Here's how it could happen. 1. A newly discovered minting error. If a previously undiscovered error was found on a 2004 penny, it could create a frenzy in the coin community. Errors like off-center strikes, missing design elements, or improperly prepared planchets can lead to skyrocketing values, especially if the error is unique or extremely rare. 2. Provenance and ownership. If a high-profile or celebrity collector were to own a rare 2004 penny, this could significantly increase its value. Coins with historical or famous owners often fetch much higher prices due to their provenance. Imagine if a coin owned by a prominent figure in history or pop culture hit the market, the bidding could easily soar. 3. Global economic factors. As we've seen in the past, global economic trends can drive collectors to seek out rare physical assets, like coins. In uncertain